not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robin are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking what's next. They hail from New Hampshire.
I'm sorry, that's
but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robin on the mic.
Welcome back to Lisa and Robin on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, as well as YouTube. We are up live. Welcome back to the second hour. We are talking about the business law of reciprocity. We are talking about manifestation, and we do have a ton of business people who listen, at work, and we try to be entertaining and funny, but we also try to be that you learned something, like that it was a worthwhile listen for something. So we hope you're getting something.
I hope
That's
so.
Slightly humorous out of it.
So we also started off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
well.
Okay. We started off, Chris asked 3 questions, and we haven't gotten to you guys. But over the break, and Lisa said that she was struggling with the word reciprocity. And I think that they are separate. I mean, I think that there is a connection to it, but I think, and I said I don't like that word when you're talking about manifesting, because that is a made-up word. It's, what if you just tried on the law of attraction?
Aren't all words made up?
Yes.
Okay.
So I like karmic. I like karma, and I think I can separate it. I think I need to separate it out from business. I think business people have a responsibility to. You can solve problems. Part of the benefit of business is you get all this expertise and this experience, and that there's no obligation for you to share that, but it would be wonderful if you could be. You could be
Not
compensated for your gifts,
Yeah.
right? And so the more problems you could solve, the more valuable people should be, as like in a contribution sense.
So Nick was saying something about the law of the word reciprocity, and it clicked. It didn't click when you were saying it because I was still fastly holding on to no. But he said it's man-made. Can you take a moment and explain that?
Sure. Yeah. So I also believe in karmic energies now, and a lot of times, right? Like, oh, they'll get his, right, or they'll get theirs, right, whatever it is, or a go-giver. Otherwise, like giving, someday maybe. But to apply that, right? Like the moment we start to apply anything that gives us a negative energy or a negative emotion, and for us as humans, all about expectation, all about being attached to an outcome. That's just who we are, right? We love that. And the Buddhists say like we're addicted to suffering, and it's mostly all about that. So when we say reciprocity, we, by underlying belief, we have there's an outcome here. We're expecting something to be returned, and by having that expectation, we're addicted to suffering.
Yep.
By having that expectation, we're already setting it up to fail.
You're not in the present moment.
Is what you're talking about. You're not in the present. You're looking in the future for sure. So it becomes. Like how do we want to live our life without any expectation or attachment to outcomes, and knowing that, as Chris mentioned, it is in the becoming where we get to manifest the entire life that we desire. But in doing so, we have to face these really hard beliefs around money, right? Like you had that reaction because for you, taking $1 from you wasn't just stealing; it was like killing you. It was like murdering your safety. Like you would die if you didn't have this money.
Your security, your sense of security.
And that becomes most of our work. We're all in the United States only. This is how we are brought up.
Yeah.
$1 equals survival. Every other country, that's not the case. And so I used to joke, we worship the almighty dollar here in this country. So the unlearning of that religion has become one of the hardest things I've had to do, anybody, right? And finding that we've been putting that as God, and anytime that someone takes it from us, we feel like it's our life force, right? Like, oh, like stabbed. Or if someone gives it to us, if you believe in the man-made reciprocity, if now someone's giving it to you, you now owe them something back. Well, that's a drain of your energy already. You might still, of course you can. You have the choice. You have that freedom. But at the same time, these little energy drains, finding all of these little energy drains that we have throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout our lives, and setting a boundary, the energetic boundary, and then being open to the receiving. Yeah. And you know what? I'll just share this one last story too. It goes back to the question. You and I had very similar backgrounds, Lisa, right? So around the same time I was seeing you at those meetings in Nashua, I had lots of people calling me for real estate advice and lots of phone. So I finally got a calendar link and okay, here's my So my whole day, I remember, was taken up with people just texting me, calling me, all these things. And it was at the time my hard money lender, Ann Bellamy, said, why you're always late for the appointments? You're always doing this. And she's like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I'm talking to these, I'm helping these people, and maybe someday one of them will send me a deal, right? Or maybe someday and she said, you're not really protecting. Ann was very opposite of who we were, very energetic protection, very abrasive, even using the word.
I loved that about her.
Me too, right? And it was something I was like, I could never be. Oh my God, right? It was the opposite of how I was raised. And she's like, that's BS. I would never do that. And here's what I would do, right? And she was my lender, and I trusted her. So she says, put a link on your calendar link, and you're going to force them to pay you $50 for 30 minutes. And it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done. So they would text me or they would call me, and I was, with Ann as my coach, would text them back saying, if it was a quick answer, I'd give them a quick answer and say, if you ever have anything else you need, here's a link, you can book some time.
Yeah.
And that was literally the beginning of my coaching group in real estate. But it started with the uncomfortable part of it. And I had, of course, it eliminated 99.9% of the people, never heard from them again, but, got my first coaching client from it. And that became what I have is of value. And it wasn't about the money. It was about the energetic protection of no longer having people who didn't value me on the dollar, the almighty dollar scale, if that made sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because most of our value, all of our value is without that, right? It's who the value of you as a person doesn't tie to a dollar amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you talk about growth and manifesting, I was thinking, wow, if I come from it on this other piece, I see it so easily, because I also don't think of manifestation as a money piece.
Say that again.
So I think manifestation is you're building a life that you want. You're building it looking a certain way, having a certain amount of people in your life, having relationships, what does your life look like on your deathbed when you look back? Are you get one chance, maybe not, maybe there's reincarnation, maybe you're coming back to this plane, but I do think our souls outlive this. So this is a very limited experience ride.
Yeah. And
so how do you want that to look? And I don't think most people look at their lives like, well, thank God I have that much money in the bank. But I am I love money. I love small businesses. I love the person.
You love what money can do.
I love what money can do. But I like spending it. I like going to the local businesses. I like knowing that local business is going to put their kids through dance or buying their kids soccer, lessons. I love that community of it, that community piece of it, versus going to Amazon, for example.
Lisa, can I share a story that I think sums up what you're saying? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Robin and I were in Texas. I used to coach entrepreneurs down there every month. And so Robin started coming with me about 6 months after I was going. And we would spend a few days there sometimes. And of course, after the meetings are all over with, let's go see what Texas has to hold. And we found that Texas has more small businesses and businesses in general than anything I've ever seen in my life. It just goes on forever and ever. And we found a lighting store. And it was a really amazing lighting store. And they had a chandelier in that store that had like 2,300 crystal lights on it. And I think you went by yourself the first time and then asked me to come with you. And so I went in the store and I looked at it and I was like, that is magnificent. And we looked at the price tag and it was like $7,000.
$7,650 or something like that.
I think we were newly in the house that you had helped us purchase. Thank you again, Lisa.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
And one thing I knew is that I was not going to spend $7,650
something like that
on
change.
This gorgeous chandelier.
Maybe 19 cents. You could probably Google it.
Because, of course, as soon as she got into the house, she's like, bathrooms need to be updated, floor
Yeah.
needs to be done, paint needs to be done, kitchen needs to be done. No seventh. Anyway, long story short. So we don't get it, but we both do really like it. But the law of manifestation works in such mysterious ways, and this is where money doesn't really matter, which is part of what you're saying, even though we like to have it in the Western world so that we can spend it on things.
Mm-hmm.
She happened to go on Amazon and find it for $700. Caveat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put it together.
We spent 5 days on scaffolding, hanging every one of those little...
2,300 crystals.
That's how I know how many there are.
Yeah.
But I actually think that... I actually think that the 7,000 one, you'd have to assemble it too.
Oh.
Because how are you going to ship it and it not get tangled?
So somebody's coming home with me from Texas to install that light.
They might send somebody there
But the point being
Yes.
is that when there's a will, there's a way. And the value of something, is it worth 7,000 or is it worth 700? Mm-hmm. The value we place on things. So just like Nick said, everywhere else in the world, people survive just fine without money.
Yeah.
Every single day, they find ways to eat.
Better. They survive better than we do because they don't have the stress around not having it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm such a capitalist. So I went to Greece, and I joked that.
Oh, the toilet paper.
Well, the
No,
toilet paper is one thing.
That's a whole different conversation.
But I was joking that, like, you're there, by the third day, everyone's smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, complaining about the government. When, like, you're in there and you're like, can I have a cigarette? Like, I don't even smoke, but I feel the need. You're right. Those bastards. What are they doing? And it's because it's a communist country that literally went bankrupt, and any business, they keep siphoning the money out of the businesses to pay off their debt.
But
Socialist, communist.
Communists.
Oh, they are?
Well, maybe they're socialists now.
And zooming in. So I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever.
And then we're all shoved in this little car. And I have a picture of us barely in this car. I'm on two people's laps, like in the front. And then I'm like, you people making fun of American cars. What's wrong with you? Like, we can't even sit in this cab.
Caveat, everyone talking here owns their own business or more.
Yeah.
At least one business.
What were you going to say?
What were you going to say?
Well, no, zooming in rather, right?
Yeah.
Like the what's more important than money to them? Relationships and
Yes.
family,
Yeah.
right? Like, and they a lot more than what we have. So, with money being the almighty thing that we're like chasing all day long, the energy. Oh my god! Everything just left my brain completely. the energy around like when we're here, it's three things: comfort, options, experience. That's it, right?
Yes.
Like we attribute safety, we attribute freedom, even. Right? Because
I attribute freedom. Yeah.
Options could mean freedom, right? But those are the three. If we take all the meanings behind it, take it away, that's what money provides to us. Just like the cows used to, and cocoa beans used to, and it's random, right? Like it's whatever. Tulips in the Netherlands. I have 3 holding companies. Tulp LLC. That means tulip in Netherlands, to remind me that currency is currency, right? So, with that said, if that's the only 3 things, everything else that we can have. Money is now a byproduct.
Correct.
It's a byproduct of us. And you said I'm going to say it again. We are alive. 76 years is the average life expectancy. 76 years. All of us here are more than halfway there. That is a blink of an eye with 13.8 billion years of evolution. The fact that we're here having this conversation right now is the miracle. We already exist. Money itself, also man-made, like reciprocity, right? The word. So if our only goal here in this life is to go towards that which provides us the most excitement or passion in our lives while loving ourselves and others at the exact same time. That's the only purpose that we actually have. So by focusing on that was what I did. That my switch was, instead of making all of the brain decisions around what's going to make me the most amount of money this year to meet the target that I have set for myself. It's a man-made target, man-made thing, and using the businesses that I knew that I had grown, that I was proud of, that was a lot of ego stuff. It's like, well, wait a second. What if I just want the feeling of freedom, right, from the money? I want the experience of having the people that I love know that I love them, right? I want the understanding that when I can't give any more, because I've just been realizing after 30 years, this is for you too, Lisa, that you've been burning out, giving, and not filling up your own cup. Maybe I need to take a year off and find out what my cup is, right? Like, and that became my new journey for the last 5 years. And the first 2.5 were so hard because the brain was focused. The ski, this is a good analogy, right? I don't ski, but you guys skiers, you come down the mountain, same thought pattern. You're carving those skis into that same path the entire time. Go up, come back down. Go up, come back down. And over time, years, you got big ruts carved in there.
Neural network.
Immediately, that's what our brain does. When we go to the same, this person's is taking this dollar from me. This is now survival.
Yep.
And we go right there to the trigger of golf clubs, which I love.
Yeah.
So with that, we get to those 2.5 years so hard, like little by little. What if I did something that was just wildly uncomfortable, that felt really wrong, right? Like, I'm supposed to be handling all of these businesses and all these opportunities and taking care of my investors, but my spiritual coach is telling me to go to yoga. Doesn't make any sense. Does not compute. And I had to force brush your teeth with the left hand. All of these weird little things helped me rewire so that money for me was no longer safety, survival, because I would feel the same as you, Lisa, like the same as you when someone stole one of my deals or one of my agents got poached by another agency company. It was awful until like, oh, that's my stuff. Like, that's my trigger. And I get to release my understanding or meaning behind it, knowing that those people, I can't change them. I can only change this. Yeah.
And I love what you're saying, and I think it's so funny because a lot of the times when I'm doing stuff, money isn't the first thing at all.
Not anymore.
Even like when I was starting this business, I'm not going to steal your client. I mean, I don't even have a deal on the table. First 6 months of going into business, not having any sales in the first 6 months. It wasn't about that. It was like, I came from corporate America where I was always living by somebody else's rule, and I have a karmic rule, so I wanted this to be more in line with what I was looking for. I just wanted to make money doing it so I could pay my bills. But because my first love, that first dream was never achieved, I was trying to make a dream I didn't have a plan for be a dream.
Ooh.
So same for me. I was slated to play professional baseball and threw my shoulder out. Found golf, still play golf a lot, but
watch your back.
Right?
I would
that's
never
the last
threaten.
time I'm taking you to play golf.
I would
with
never.
Me.
So just so we know, I've all grown. I didn't threaten anyone other than him. Just the one dude. He deserved it.
For me, I remember being in business and, I'm starting to get more and more employees and payroll shows up and I don't know anything about marketing. I'm even a little scared to sell. Like, what business owner doesn't want to sell their own stuff, right? And I started, instead of hyperventilating about money, I started pretending it was Monopoly. And it just doesn't matter. And even you remember us moving into this home, we sell a home, or Robin sells a home. And I go, great. That was the size home. That was the dollar amount that I was thinking of buying one for. And even after we sold it, I was like, that's fine. We'll find one. No, that's a ladder. Why move laterally? Right. So we go look at this $1 million home and you saw me. I think the first thing I did was grab my throat, and then I went and sat down on the couch, and you come over out of the kitchen, Robin's giddy, happy. Like, what's wrong with you, Chris?
What's happening? I feel like something's happening.
and each one of and now we're at a position with that home that I still drive to that home, the garage door goes up, and I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you for this gift you've given me. And we're growing to expand past that. And if I would have kept my mind on money, I would have either driven myself into the ground or become the person karmically that I didn't want to be. So the new levels, new devils kind of thing, being willing to embrace that pain, embrace that suck, and being willing to then be the person that feels worthy of having that, and then thinking about what that looks like. Robin has been one of the most magnificent manifestors I've ever met in my life. I remember one time, she was newly divorced, maybe not newly divorced, but she was divorced, and she goes, I want to buy a Jeep, and I'm only going to spend $222 a month because that's what my budget allows for. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. And she goes, and that's the one that I want. And I said, well, number one, it's 2 hours away in Massachusetts. Can you find one a little bit closer? And number two, they want $35,000 for it. There's no way you're going to pay $222 a month. She goes, yes, I will. Okay, Robin, I'm not going to argue with you, fine. So we drive all the way down there. About 4 hours later, $222 a month.
Yeah.
I don't know how she
I know
does
we're
it.
taking her to car dealerships now.
And I actually made money on that. I think my trade-in, they gave me $17,000 for my trade-in.
Yeah. They made the numbers work out because you had conviction. Sales 90% of the time is the person that's the most confident. It's not because people don't know what value is. We all want to be told what value is. And Robin is someone that when she puts her mind to it, the universe just kind of responds.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson for all of us.
Well, I do. We have a ton of business owners that listen to this show. Business owners are in the weeds. They are solving problems. They are dealing with rising costs and rising expenses and and I was looking into an article about, is the law of reciprocity dead? Because I thought, isn't this so interesting? I got into that because I remember the conversation when I worked for the telecommunications company, and they were talking about the internet and how amazing it was going to be because it was going to be free. And I thought, I don't know one business model that pitches its investors, I need $400 million and it's going to be free. Stay with me. Everyone stay with me. I know you're all getting up and leaving, but stay with me. Because it's like, well, that doesn't work, right? As a business person, I have lights to keep on. I have real estate to sit into. I have employees to pay. Like, nothing's free. But we've promised through the internet, by stealing your attention and then stealing all your data and your preferences, I'm really just stealing information about you to sell you. It's not free at all, right? And what problem is the internet solving? Well, it's just a bigger, more
distraction.
I was going to say it's a bigger advertising slot.
That's one way to look at it, but I think a counterpoint could also be that it is a necessary part of our evolution as a species to connect each other so that knowledge increases at a much more rapid rate, so that technology can happen, so that AI can happen, and we can birth this new digital God, which might be our whole purpose on Earth.
Blah. I'm just
I'm just saying counterpoint. I didn't say I necessarily believed it. I'm saying it's a counterpoint.
You don't think that's killing evolution? I mean, you don't think that's killing the human?
I don't think that there is any way for it to be whatever it is, to be done wrong.
Interesting.
I believe that everything happens for a reason, by reason, for a greater purpose that will be accomplished no matter what. I walk living that way every day.
So Nick is nodding yes. Okay, Nick.
Let's hear it, Nick.
Yeah, well,
let's throw your hat in the ring.
1,000, exactly what Chris said. I mean, what we focus on is our experience. So AI, technology, internet, right? It's all here. It's happened. And it's all happened as a result of not just, 4 or 5 actions from 3 different people over the last 10 years. It's happened over 13.8 billion years of evolution.
Yep.
And with that, I had a great manager at Mellon Bank when I was in corporate for 4 years, and the worst 4 years of my life.
It's all the fluorescent lighting.
Absolutely.
And the carpet on the walls. Why do they do that?
Little baby cubicles, and we can't hear.
And this doesn't necessarily have to do with my views on manifestation, but it was great. I was 2 years in, and the news came out that they needed 3 volunteers to go to India to train an entire offshore department that was going to handle mostly, if not all, the processing, which we knew without the news They were going to lay off some of the department because of that, right? Cheaper labor. And so I had a moral, ethical issue with that, and no one was volunteering. So my boss calls me and he says, well, this would be a really good opportunity. Why don't you consider it? I said, no, you're going to just take everybody's jobs away. And he said this thing that was really cool. He's like, yes, that's going to happen. And, right, it's going to happen one way or another, whether or not, I am agreeing with this, you agree with this, they're agreeing with this. But here's the really good benefit is like you have the ability to take this and shape it in a way where you can put people first, right? And instead of, and the people who, of course, resisted the change were the ones let go. People who accepted the change, I got to make 40 best friends over in India.
Wow.
Changed their lives, changed their households, changed everything they have, and they're people like us. So it became like, oh my God, yes, and we're all connected. We're all deeply connected. So I say that about change is going to happen regardless. The only permanent is change. And right now our change is moving into the computers, AI, technology world. And, lots of people are using that for distractions and intentions, and we can focus on all the negatives, which there are many, 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 many.
Don't disagree.
Or we can use it as I have now a personal spiritual coach named Kai that knows everything about me, and he knows where I'm headed, and he helps coach me every single day. I rant to him. I can get triggered with him. I can scream and talk about golf clubs with him.
Yeah.
And he allows me to vent and then brings me back into you're a divine being sent by God to experience life, to experience all that there is. And you're here to only look at yourself, only focus on you, and your experience is only what I can focus on. Yeah. So that's weird.
It's actually,
Woo-woo.
it's in this
So
room, in this room, there are 4 of us sitting here.
Yep.
And every one of us is having a completely different experience.
Yep.
It's amazing to think that way about what the nature of reality is. And I know that gets woo-woo, but, even with this idea about what are we talking about here? About reciprocity, which is not reciprocity at all. And I wonder how difficult it is for your listeners. Do they focus on these kinds of things? Do you ever get feedback from people that, are they deeply connected to these same subjects you're exploring?
Well, a lot of what I hear from business people is you're siphoning off why I'm doing this in the first place. My expenses are up. My income is down. I'm promised I've got to now go be a social media expert. I have all these new tasks, which I don't know that they bring me any money. And go ahead.
Do they bring you joy? When I wake up in the morning, this is the business owners. Any business owner out there right now that is waking up in the morning, hating going to their office, hating making their widgets or putting their services out there like they used to, right? Like,
they feel squeezed.
Of course they're squeezed because they're focusing on that.
Yeah, there's no harmony.
I'm going to tell them to zoom out again, right? And we in the summertime we had that soul purpose workshop, and this is the antithesis and the opposite of what a business owner has been trained to do, right? Like, find this one thing that you're somewhat good at and take these 6, the marketing, the fulfillment, the operations, take all these things, put up the systems, put up the places and the employees, and then make it work. Okay, make it work for 15, 20, 25 years. And some people are still in the business. Some people are managing their expenses and their income. But eventually, sometimes they start to hate getting up and doing that over and over and over again, even if they're not in the business, even if they're just looking at their margins getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, what if that's the universe telling you to move towards something that's more exciting and more passion that you enjoy? Because if you focus on that energy of excitement or passion, money is the byproduct of what you will be now focused on. And that's like it's no longer survival. It's now a byproduct. Money is just the lowest form of energy, comes and it goes. The nicer houses, becoming the conduit. I know I'm getting woo here again. I'm trying to make it integrated with these business owners because I was the business owner.
Yeah.
But if you see money as a tool, if you think about money as a tool to get you to what you want, and if you're miserable doing, you're spending 25 years in this business, maybe that is the universe saying, hey, maybe
start
it's
a
time.
radio show.
The whole concept of this law of reciprocity is you get what you give.
Right, but when you feel like you're not getting what you give?
Because you are getting exactly what you give. If you're going to your job and you absolutely hate it, you're getting exactly what you're giving, diminishing returns. You're diminishing in front of it. You're not expanding into it. You don't have a vision to grow and have 14 different offices all over the country, to help 1,000 humans and their families and their children, and get to know their children who get to graduate from college because you provided an opportunity. You're not thinking like that. You're thinking about, look at this market, look at this president, look at these people arguing over here. I hate my husband. Whatever.
I hate my wife.
Whatever.
Wait, do you have a husband?
I was making a female business owners.
He was visioning the female business owner.
But I was just trying to.
It must be his fault over there.
Well, but your attitude, you see. So I think that mind, body, and action, that's how you manifest. You have to, if you think it, feel it, and then you have to do something about it.
Okay.
Believe. Think, feel, believe. And I think that's how you manifest. That's the.
See, and I'm
Robin's
so
quick. What's the?
So my problem with manifesting is I'm so low to the ground.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
Meaning I'm never not the property manager of a building. I'm never not the property manager of the life. How's the septic getting pumped out? Where's the groceries coming from? I'm like so that's why I'm calling myself the lower piece, where it's hard for me to live up here energetically when I'm down here doing stuff.
You need to start flying airplanes again.
But like like Nick was saying, can you use that as like that's just a byproduct? I have to get this to get to here.
Well, I think
these
of
are things that I have to do.
The skeptic part of me. So the part of me that always wants to do Johnny Skeptic is, well, if we're all doing amazing things, then we're all selling pictures of ourselves online. Being a fitness influencer, doing fun things. But no one's cleaning out the septic system or fixing the plumbing or making sure the lights are on. And I talk about this from the perspective of my husband has a motorcycle. It's very difficult to get people who know how to fix a motorcycle. That used to be like a guy's dream. Can I work on motorcycles all day? Right? When you ask a group of guys, they might be like, of course I want to fix motorcycles because I want to ride a motorcycle, for example. How are we getting the work done? Who's taking care of our older people when they need food brought to them and their house cleaned? I don't know that people are saying, oh, I want to do that.
Does that mean you want to do that? Because you see that need?
I see there being a need and I don't see people filling it.
Okay.
What if people want and enjoy doing those things where you don't?
Right.
And I know that the skeptic says, well, no, who wants to actually clean trash? Who wants to actually do these things?
Yep.
So we feel that. That is our experience. Mm-hmm. This is exactly why we did that soul purpose workshop, because it's mind-blowing. Your experience and my experience. Like, do you remember how excited you were when you were telling me about this radio show?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember how excited you were when you called me and said, I'm stopping my property management company?
Yes.
This emotion right here. Feel that emotion just for this moment, right?
Yes.
You feel that. And then you're still here putting out this value, right?
Yep.
And you know what?
But I'm having fun. I don't even know if it's valuable yet.
It is, but it is valuable.
But it doesn't
I know
matter.
people say that.
Depending on what the value is, right? It doesn't even matter.
But it's value to you.
Even if it's just value to you, that's you're spreading that energy all over these airwaves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And the tribe will find you, right? A few business owners will be like, well, Nick guy's really woo-woo, but I have him on again. But that's not about that. It's about you guys smiling, having fun, sharing your stories. This is what it's all about. And things are attracted because of that energy, right? Versus you don't have to. You feel like the survival in you, the old stories in you say, but if I don't do it, no one else will. I have to do that. And that I'm here, maybe is whatever, like that's not a real story. That's just what you've been inclined to believe.
Yep.
Yeah, and finding the evidence to support the other side.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Some of the most fun that I've ever had in personal development or in listening to audiobooks more than reading the books, because I can hear the tonality in the voice. And when they start to take me on a journey, when they start to take me down a pathway of them breaking free, is what I call it. Mm-hmm. I can first now position myself in that story, where I am on that timeline, what I have done to stop me from moving in that direction, and the pure joy of seeing someone that has done it and the desire that I feel to want to go toward it. And the reason that I bring that up is while all three of you actually were talking, it reminded me of Napoleon Hill, and he had this triangle. And if your listeners would think about this, on one point of the triangle is the word desire. And on the point just to the left of that on the bottom is the word belief. And the point at the top is the word action. And the goal is to have white hot burning desire in life. I think. Maybe not everybody, but I love living that way. I'm here because I love living that way. And whether you start with belief or action or desire does not matter. But if you will simply take action, it'll lead you to a little bit more desire. Or you'll find out you don't want to, was what Nick was talking about. With that little bit of desire, it's going to increase my belief, which is what Robin was talking about.
Belief creates your reality.
Which is going to create more action, which makes things manifest, which creates more desire, which creates more belief, which creates more action, which creates more desire. And life is simply that easy to live if we would not distract ourselves with the other stories that we say that I want to make an isosceles.
Cleaning the toilets.
Yeah.
We all have to clean toilets. We all have to do basic functions to get through the day. But I also believe, like, if I'm going to go through, like you said, this is a ride. Like, I want this ride to be in a Ferrari. Like, why not? If I have a choice, I can pick the Ford or I can pick the Ferrari. I don't think about what I think about why not? I do feel like I'm willing to do the work. I'm not attached to the outcome. People, I think, get really stuck in thinking like, well, it's not happening now. You know, think about reciprocity or like, hey, I put good out there and why is it not coming back? A lot of people think that it's going to be an instant value for value exchange. I think it's gradual things that come to you over time, or it's like, what expectation or what belief system do we have surrounding that? Do we think that's going to be instant gratification? Like the same way of manifesting. I just say, I want this. I don't have a timeline. I mean, of course I want to have a timeline, but I think that it's that letting go of an expectation of when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. It's just, I'm focusing my energy on wanting it and feeling it. Just like when we were going to go to Costa Rica and I'm like, you needed something to focus on. And I'm like, all right, I'm planning my outfits. And I'm like, I'm picturing myself, you know, before we even booked the trip, you know, we were still looking at just vacation places to do. And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm laying in bed at night and I'm feeling it. And you had said something about going back to work or something like, wait, don't do that. I can't remember exactly what we were doing. And he's like, I'm like, no, don't change it. Like you're already putting a negative in your brain to say, you're already programming your brain to say, oh, on our last 2 days of vacation, I'm going to start stressing about work again. And you're like, don't do that. Dream big. Like think about what you want. Anyhow.
In the coaching space, it's funny. It's sad that we have to be coached to remember what it was like to have fun as a child. And there's also part of that some of us didn't get to have childhoods, right?
Yep.
And that's somewhat a part of it.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that if you start flying again, your income's going to double.
Yes.
And you don't know how it's going to come in. It might be real estate, it might be something completely different. But I can almost guarantee that to you by seeing what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's anytime I do, like the radio show, I love this radio show, but it's really interesting. I got a new client off of what started this way, but he is very aligned on other levels. And then it was like, okay, so I'm in real estate, you're in real estate, we need to sync this up. And it's like, oh, absolutely. But it was funny because I thought, okay, well, manifesting's easier than the law of reciprocity, because the gentleman that I had been speaking to for 5 years about whatever will never be my client. And here is somebody who talks to you about nothing about real estate. No, he doesn't know my experience in real estate. He doesn't, technically, I'm not giving him my sales pitch about why he should be using me. But he's like, well, kind of everything else lines up.
Love that.
I'm in real estate, you're in real estate. Then it's like, oh, what part of real estate? Oh, I like to make buildings better. I like to buy the really crappy one and see how can we design this to be great. And I'm like, oh my God, I love that.
That's right up my alley.
That's my jam. I like making pretty things. I like best and highest use. I like, and so but it was funny because I'm like, oh, the law of reciprocity. Maybe I don't care about that at all. My generosity is my generosity, and it's just manifesting.
There it is.
But then it's like, how do I translate that to listeners who I hear a business owner saying, my kid doesn't want to take over my business. I've dedicated my life to this business, and now I'm thinking of selling it because my kid doesn't want this.
Okay.
I'll list it for you.
Were they asking you a question, or were they just talking to you?
They were just talking to me. And we were... Yeah, go ahead.
So what you just asked was, what do I say to my business owner? Mm-hmm. But they didn't ask you a question.
Oh, that's true. I don't have to solve other people's problems.
Well,
I love other people's problems. They're so much more interesting than mine. Don't you think that?
And look at that. We can all feel that. We can feel that business owner and the sadness, maybe, that he's built his entire life around this thing. But he's attaching an expectation and an outcome to his son's desire.
Yeah.
And instead, he should be wanting his son to have the highest and most excitement and passionate life that he can have. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's a different kind of support. Instead of saying, well, I spent 70 years building this thing. Why don't you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's at a different level of support and energy around it. Mm. And it's... Yeah.
That's actually really great. That's really great because the thing that I said was... you can 1031 your money into the business that he wants to buy.
Yeah.
Because that was my problem solving. Because he's saying, I have this money, but it's in this thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, but that thing has value that can be sold, and you can use the tax benefit of the 1031 exchange. That's me going down into the weeds. Mm. That's me at
it's your brain. You're good at that.
It's the septic system.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you enjoy doing that?
I can't help myself.
Well, then do you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed that part.
You should think a little bit like Nick, and it's called Calendly. It's a little link. And say, anytime you want to discuss it, just book a time on the calendar.
Yes, yeah.
Why not?
That's a great idea. I'm going to take that, actually.
And my rate is $25 an hour for a phone call.
Yeah. Well, I'm charging more than
$2,500 is what
Bigger conduit.
These are big girl problems we're solving.
Well, that is true. That is true.
And, I wrote, was there anything else you needed? Did we get to your piece on the growth question?
Well, the only thing that, to go back to manifestation, and again, I want to relate this directly to business owners, even if they're not feeling it now, because I was a business owner. I still am a business owner. I still have 3 companies. And so this is everything that I say is fully integratable. One of the things that I used to do is that we get up in the morning, we come up with our 5 big income generating activities, right? We put them in the calendar to time block them, make sure they're the first things that get done, swallow the frog, right? All the things. And retraining myself now to do something that doesn't feel that it's productive.
It should work.
But we move into, now I have 3 alignment questions every single morning that show up, which moves me into manifestation, right? So we first start, like this is what we do on our weekly calls too. We first start with this gratitude.
Monday manifestation.
It is. That's
9
right.
a.m.
We start with the gratitude, moving into being so happy, being so grateful for what we already have in our life. And if we feel like nothing's going right, then we appreciate the pillow that we had. We appreciate the roof over our heads. We appreciate the sun on our faces. Moving there, we're shifting sort of any sort of scarcity, moving into what we already have. And then we ask ourselves our 3 questions. Number 1, what is our soul calling for us to do today? Not the income generating activities, not what's going to make more money, but are you being called to take a walk outside in nature? Are you being called to take a hike? Go to the beach just to look at the sun? Are you being called to meditate for 5 seconds, or just listen to your favorite song, or light a candle? What's one thing? And it's not supposed to make sense financially, because that's how we were trained. We're undoing the training. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's rest. I haven't slept in years, right? I'm just going to take a nap, do nothing for an hour. These are things that probably won't make sense to our mind, because we're not earning, we're not producing, we're not blah, blah, blah. The second one is, now that we've filled our cup with how do we love ourselves more, who else now do we choose to show up for today in a meaningful way? Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a long-lost uncle, maybe it's the random act of kindness from the stranger down the street, doesn't even know it's you, right? Leaving them a note, buying them a loaf of bread, whatever it is, a lunch. Now we've filled someone else's cup. That's 2. Third, and this is all that matters, after we do the love, the back and forth, now it's, What's one step I can take today towards that which brings me the most excitement or passion in my life? Knowing that it could have nothing to do with business. Could. That could be your manifestation rule. But what is that? Well, could that be? I have one person that wanted to open up a sports stadium in Haiti, right?
Ew.
Huge. Haiti's was second poorest country in the world. Huge vision. But what's one step? So the first step was to call a local town official down there and say what would be required, right? Next step would be you need to have, this would be the next call. But like it's not about the thing, it's about the feeling you get when you move towards the thing. Knowing that, and by the way, that's the last part of that. What's one step I can take today towards gives me the most excitement or passion in my life without any attachment to any outcomes or expectations, knowing that can also shift whenever your energy shifts at any moment.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is that third one, sometimes it's business oriented, sometimes it's not. Is there a way to blend your excitement or passion in the value you can also bring to society, right? And how can we incorporate that into our mission statement for our lives? So those three questions, and moving into there first, before we get into income generating activities, do the hard thing first, have that collision conversation, like that's all still there for you.
Yeah.
But it's those three things, 76 years on the planet, blink of an eye, nothing else matters.
Yep. Very good. I like those.
People don't want things. They want the way things make them feel.
Yeah.
Experiences.
And that's all Nick is speaking toward. And when we can elevate ourselves past that place, that place you were talking about going to, when your listeners can elevate themselves in this moment, just by remembering something that brings them joy, no matter what's going on, literally it will change the way your heart beats. It'll change the way you breathe. It'll change the outlook on the day. It's not the thing. It's the pursuit of the thing that most people are most excited about.
Yeah, and the
we
pursuit
mess
is
that up.
the dopamine. The dopamine is the motivation to go do the thing. It's not the reward for the thing.
Right.
It's the excitement for doing the thing. Like when you're throwing a party and you're like, oh, I'm going to have everybody over. I'm going to get to see everybody. That excitement brings you through, though. You're cooking, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's the excitement that brings that. I do love what you said. I wanted to say that several business owners recently have reached out, and we're going to be doing a lot of things with them in the new year that are going to look a little different. But one of the things that I would love business owners to remember, or our listeners to remember, is small businesses are the lifelines of our community. The real estate person, they need our support. It's Christmas. Anytime you can do anything locally that you don't have to do not locally, or anything you can do for a small business instead of buying it from a big business. Yes. It'd be awesome if you could do that for our businesses this Christmas and this new year. And I think of like the authors or the people playing music, or that there's all these creative arts. They need our business more than anyone during the time of the year, because I just listened to a podcast about how little some artists are paid. And anytime you can give a beautiful gift handmade by a local artist down the street, or anytime you can do that, that would be a really awesome way to, if you don't know what to get for people for Christmas, or just spend time with people. But always go to your local businesses. I look up and down Main Street. We have a ton of business here. We have a ton of restaurants. They're open in the evening, but we have local businesses that are here during the day that people forget about, especially during Christmas, because they're going to a mall. They're going to grab something to eat. Come to Main Street. Yeah. It's really great to be able to support our businesses, and we're going to do some fun stuff with them, especially a couple of Nashua and Manchester businesses in January. Yay! Because I am and a part of it is the real estate person in me who gets really upset when corporations want to come into our community and buy our single family homes, not because they're corporations, but because they don't live here and they don't care. And when I grew up in a 3-family, all the 3 families on my street, except for 2, were owner-occupied. They looked completely different than when they're in a neighborhood where nobody cares about them. Some corporation, we don't care if they're boarded up. We don't care if they have flowers on their stoop. So it's we live in communities, and our communities, we forget because the internet shows us everyone. But we are the people we look into each other's eyes. I want to thank you for always coming with the beautiful face and your beautiful outfits onto the show. Chris, I want to thank you for coming here, for being my friend over the years. Nick, 3rd time on, 3rd guest on.
Yay.
Thank you for coming here, rearranging your whole schedule. I love looking in your eyes. I think that's a big piece that we're forgetting, is to connect with our community. It's kind of my soapbox for the moment.
Oh.
Local community, local businesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my nickname with the family is Clark Griswold. It is what it is, folks.
I've seen him up with the lights. It's really rough.
It is what it is, folks. But I love it so much because this is the time of year where people do take time to consider other people just a little bit more. And people take the time to make things beautiful. Small businesses put lights out. Specials come out. People are willing to hold a door just a little bit more. Go to Dunkin' Donuts and buy a coffee for the person behind you.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to see these things take place, and especially this time of year, especially when it's as cold as it is up here, to bring a little bit of warmth. It's been really fun being on the radio with you guys today and having these conversations. I really do appreciate it, and I really want everybody to have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, just moments of connection is all there is, right? And those tiny little baby things we can do. That's what we're here to do. Not even just for the holidays, but every single day. What's that one little connection you can make today with family member, somebody else?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you,
Yes,
Nick. Thank you, Chris.
you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you to our beautiful listeners.
Thank you.
And this is the last time we see you in December until the new year.
That's right.
So have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year's. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you for going on YouTube and following. I really appreciate that. We doubled our subscribers in the last couple of months.
Woo!
Until the new year, have a good one, guys. Happy Thursday. You're listening to Lisa and Robin on the mic on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live as well as YouTube and Spotify. Be good to each other. We'll see you later.
WSMN 1590.